It's been a powerful day. While I'm waiting, where is it? We give shout out to Radiance Magazine, friends of ours, co-collaborators, co-creators, collaborators. This is their newest edition, Radiance Magazine, and it's published by Scott Ware and his crew. They've got Morgan's got a little spot in there, and we've also got a spot in there talking about SOULSPEAKS 5D. Okay, it looks like we've got them all on. Let me see. Yeah. We got a new friend in the house, Katharine Kinnie from Australia. We're going to get to know her in typical Soulspeaks fashion because I don't know anything about her. I'm sure she told me, but I can't remember. And we're going to get to know each other in front of all of our brothers and sisters spontaneously, intuitively. What's the other one? Creatively. See, I usually have this like imaginatively, and depending on what we're talking about, are doing courageous. All right, we'll be right back in a minute, 19 seconds. If these shows resonate, please share. How's it going, everybody? It looks like somebody or a couple of people know Katharine Kinnie. One, what did that just say? It said, my favorite numerologist. So happy to see you two together. And then Katharine is an absolutely beautiful soul. And Shauna Marie Sings says on YouTube, I love numerology. So those are the ones that Katharine paid. Now we'll see. I'm kidding. I'm joking with you. So your gig or one of them is numerology? Is that right?
Yeah, cosmic numerology.
Cosmic numerology. Okay, let's go there, man. I like to do everything spontaneously. I can feel this now, the groove. So years and years ago, back in the early 20s, when I started digging into this stuff, 22, 23, 24, I picked up a numerology book. And I remember reading the book and then doing all my numerology and showing it to my family. And I was absolutely 100% like, this shit's real. And they're all looking at me like, yeah, yeah, right. I remember that very clearly. So I have an interest in it. Yeah. And I got a little confused, I remember, because there was a couple of ways to go. But you can explain it to us as we learn more about you. Let's spend some time on numerology, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
We can use me as a guinea pig. Okay. So welcome to the show, and thank you for coming in and sharing space and honoring us with your presence. It's a pleasure to meet you. You got a beautiful smile. Welcome to the show, and I'm glad that you're here.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah. So when did you? Have you always been this weird, or when did you wake up?
I've always been weird, but probably like many of us, wasn't always in an environment where the weirdness was, kind of cultivated, shall we say. So, and the volume down on the weirdness, a decade or so. And at the end of 2012, I had my kind of awakening, I guess, or my great, the beginning of my remembrance of who I am and why I'm here.
The beginning of 2012? 2012?
End of.
Oh,
So
end of
yeah,
2012.
it was
Okay.
yeah, it was between 12/12 and 21
Oh,
12/12.
2112. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put that together. That's okay. I'm trying to remember where I remember where I was. Yeah. Yeah, that was a very powerful time. I've heard of a lot of people waking up 2012, give or take a year or two. So yours was actually in that little window.
It was
Wow.
during the 0 point portal. Yeah, so every year the 0 point portal was from 12/12 to 21/12.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? My
Mm-hmm.
birthday's on 12/9. I'll be 59. December the 9th. Now y'all say 9/12.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that. What is the 0 point portal? Does it come every year? And can you give us a tip on how to maximize our potential in that period?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a portal that is acknowledged to happen every year. My feeling is that we're actually merging and melding with the energies of that portal just in general, because for me it's new earth
Yeah.
energy, it's 5D and beyond, and it's a portal of instant manifestation.
Instant manifestation.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is perfect. I love the way these things just flow, one thing after another, sequentially. So, Gilda Stern has the same birthday I do. How cool is that? So, would one of the things I've noticed lately that I've always kind of had like sitting there, like be careful how you speak about yourself. Be careful what you say. Like I said on an earlier show today, I almost feel weird, and I don't think it'll be long before I stop referring to my linear age. Like it doesn't feel right to say I'm going to be 59. That seems very limited, and it just doesn't jive. So what I'm getting at, it's gotten louder. I noticed it with some people close to me. Some of the statements that came out of their mouth really made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Like, oh, that's not cool. Like, I don't think we should be talking that way. And I kept my comments pretty much to myself. But I've also, most of this goes first through me. So I've been working on some self-healing. I have a tooth issue. I have other things I've worked on with some degrees of success. I've got a couple things I've worked on that I haven't had any success, evidently. But I guess what I'm saying is, given the occurrence of this 12 12 to 21/12 period that you're calling the 0 pointing portal, is there any relevance to what I just said? Do we need to be more careful now? Is there more of an impact now than there was 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Oh, go ahead.
100%. Yes.
Okay. Like I mean, seriously, yeah. Go ahead. There was a lot. Okay. No, you go. You go. Go ahead.
This portal has been an opportunity every year for us to become aware of how powerful we are.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk a lot in all of my transmissions, in all of my teachings. Now more than ever, it is so important that we are as conscious as possible of our thoughts and our words and our actions. And more importantly, once we're aware of them, to ensure that our thoughts and our words and our actions are in alignment with our divine soul's purpose and the co-creation of heaven on earth. Which
Let me absorb that. Let me absorb that. No, that's powerful, because I'm finding that on this journey is more time as we go along further in the quantum nonlinear. I'm finding that it's all coming back to simple, profound truths that are simple and not easy. But they're not easy because we're not accustomed to it. We're not accustomed to how the magic works. We're not accustomed because of limitations by our belief systems carried forward. Now, you just said that instant manifestation is tied to our thoughts, words, and actions, which are which are like turbocharged if they are in alignment with what we understand to be our personal multiple missions and purposes, et cetera, et cetera. Is that right? This is cool.
100%.
Great show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you got me out of bed. God, that's powerful. That's really, really, that's what I've been feeling. That's what I've been, and so you're saying this has gone on every year. So it's been a recognized period. Do you think that now, is that new intel to you? I mean, like, did you get this at the last year's, the 2019 and the 2018 and the 2017, or has that intel kind of come in this year in 2020? The part about, being in alignment, your words, thoughts, and actions with your multiple purposes and universal will.
So I've been aware of the 0 point portal for several years. Like I said, my awakening happened during the 0 point portal. In fact, it was the beginning of the 0 point portal that activated it in 2012. So it was 12/12/2012. It was during that portal that numerology kind of came to me and was presented to me as, part of my service here. I didn't know it at the time. And then it was probably a couple of years later, like probably 2013, 14, that I became aware of the 0 point portal. And, I've been studying quantum physics for quite a while. I mean, my soul is, knows it and understands it and lives it in every moment. But in answer to your question, it was just becoming more and more clear and prevalent to me in my life. And it's connected to my numerology as well, and my service through my numerology blueprint, my cosmic numerology blueprint. I'm a 3 expression, and the 3 is all about communication and self-expression and truth. But I'm a 22 life path.
22, that sounds familiar. Yeah, go ahead.
And so, the 4 in that 22 is about specificity and accuracy and pinpoint precision. So when you look at my numbers, I'm a 22/4 life path and a 3 expression. And so a huge part of my soul's experience in this lifetime is specific, accurate communication and to be a mirror to everyone about how powerful and important our words are and how important they are in the co-creation of heaven on earth, which is the 22 frequency. It's the master builder frequency, the dream weaving frequency.
Yeah.
So
the OGs,
the funny thing,
it's the OGs, original gods and goddesses.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of like a spokesperson for the 0 point portal as well.
You're now the official Soulology cosmic numerologist, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that. I just want to go back to that because I feel like it's very, very important. My hair's getting thin. My face is wrinkling. All these things, they actually create now more than ever, right? I mean, they really, really do. So if I say my hair's getting thin or my face is getting wrinkled, it's not that. This is the way I'm getting what I'm getting. It's the limitation of the statement. It is the lessening of my essence. It is the constriction of my creativity. It's putting I'm under someone's thumb, and it's me that's in control. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I mean, that's how fast you talked about quantum physics a minute ago, but that's how fast this stuff is moving now. The only things that's standing between us and anti-aging and Todd's hair going black again is beliefs. Yeah. And we talk about red and blue, and we talk about Q, and we talk about COVID, and we talk about this, that, and they're all distractions and distortions. What if we put that time into doing what you said, which is aligning my thoughts, words, and actions with my divine template, our divine template, in alignment with universal will, the merging of free will with universal will? What if we did that? Talk about quantum. We would create a new word. It wouldn't be quantum. It would be linear, then quantum, and then something else happened when these people got serious, right? Wow. See, that's quantum. Like, you're not saying a word, and you just, look, what can you say? It is what it is, right? Powerful. Yeah. As the days go by, this show's going to have fewer and fewer words, and we're just going to sit and look at each other, which is cool, you know? Yeah. So, the Katharine Kinnie's on in 30 minutes. that's my alarm for when I was taking my nap. So tell me, what's the difference? I've got a basic understanding of numerology. Not just rookie. But what is the difference between cosmic numerology and numerology?
Great question. So numerology is a metaphysical science that first came through, like hundreds of years ago. And, the Chaldeans are first acknowledged as, using numerology. Now, I don't speak about that because I'm a Pythagorean numerologist. So
I'm digging that.
Yeah.
I like Pythagorean. I love those guys, the Greeks. I love them.
Big up to Pythagoras.
Pythagoras.
And so where Chaldean is limited is it does acknowledge the number 9. And so, when numerology came through to me in this lifetime where I picked it up, it was Pythagorean numerology. Pythagorean numerology acknowledges numbers 1 to 9 and then, beyond. So cosmic numerology is based on Pythagorean numerology. So that's the foundation upon which cosmic numerology has is built. I didn't understand what cosmic numerology was for a long time because it was kind of coming through to me. I mean, I don't speak about this publicly very often, but I know that I'm receiving guidance and information from Pythagoras. Like, he is one of my main guides.
I don't doubt that.
This is the first time I've ever actually mentioned that publicly.
Well, you're okay here. You're safe. This is where all the crazy people are. So you fit right in, the weirdos.
So, yeah, it took my human a while to understand what the heck was going on and to kind of integrate what was going on. All I knew was I was obsessed with reading books about numerology the first year after my awakening at the end of 2012. So 2013, it was just head in numerology books. And then people started asking me for readings. So I was giving readings. And then by within a year, I was teaching it. People wanted to teach it. And
this all happened that quick?
Oh, it was Todd.
Crazy. That's that. I know. I mean, I've heard, believe me, 2,400 shows. I've heard, and there's always common denominators. There's, a lot like what we talked about, touched on in your own situation. But because I'm thinking about the dynamics of, okay, you're in the matrix, you're walking around, la-di-da, you've shut it down. You know how it always still runs. And then all of a sudden, boom. And in a year, you go from being on the conveyor belt of the matrix, and now you're doing readings and teaching and getting paid.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a very big deal because of so many people, practitioners, have struggled with, I'm going to charge $300 an hour. I'm going to get what I'm worth, or I'm not going to charge anything because I feel like I'm, screwing the client. I mean, it's like, that's been a big deal. So you were able to, you weren't just, connecting to Pythagoras, you were actually connecting to what I consider like the 5D business, 5D commerce.
Yep.
Early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have
It
a
was
cape?
crazy.
Do you have a cape with an S on the back?
I have a cape with a P on the back. Pythagoras.
Yeah. Yeah. That gives me chills, Pythagoras. It does. Yeah. So you started teaching that quick. Now, so the book that I read years ago, I'm certain used the number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But
yeah.
Okay, so that would have been the Pythagorean type of numerology.
Most people that have heard of numerology, it will be Pythagorean numerology.
Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm. Now, did he have something to do with that? I guess he did. That's a stupid question. Maybe that was him flicking my head. But I guess, let me put it another way. Did he write about numerology?
No. So Pythagoras' gig was much like the original indigenous people, especially of this land, First Nations people. Everything was oral. Nothing was written down because it was, for him, it was so sacred. You weren't allowed to write it down. So when his school of mathematics was burnt to the ground and all of his students were killed, all of the information disappeared.
Wow. Other than through channels like, that's interesting, because I've heard people talk about similar situations. I know in my own situation, I had 6 biblical prophets that came in that first, the first wave, and they all told me stuff, right? And then I would go look, and some of the stuff, like maybe 30% of it was verbatim. Like I had X number of kids and da-da-da-da. But the other part, you couldn't find anything. That's pretty impressive. I got a download like 3 days ago. And they were telling me, you guys have passed on this information and the long-term strategy generation after generation after generation. You've done it through the intuitive, the telepathic. Yeah. That's how he did it. Who else are your guides? Or do they have names?
Metatron is a huge guide for me. He's been giving me sacred geometry. So I received a really powerful piece of sacred geometry this summer, winter, like here. And I received it, and he connected with me through the Akashic, initially, and then I received this piece of geometry, and I drew it. And then I was sharing it on Facebook, and people were asking me about it. People knew it. People had already been seeing it in the quantum field. And then people wanted me to teach about it. So I was receiving this geometry, and then I was teaching Zoom classes within like a few weeks.
That's crazy. So have you noticed or seen what I might say is new sacred geometry or off-planet sacred geometry that wasn't around before? Like, is that something that's been occurring for you this year?
This piece of geometry, like I haven't known what to call it. I'm calling it Metatron's New Earth Grid at the moment.
Do you have a picture of it? Far out. Let me see. Let me put you on. I was just about to say, are there any triangles in it? Oh my God, this is cool. Let me see. Oh wow.
So this is the coming together of 2 Metatron's grids. So this is what it looks like when you take 2 Metatron's grids. One is laid out normally. So I don't know if you can see the circles, but there are the circles that make up the fruit of life. And then you take another Metatron's grid and you turn it 30 degrees. And when you connect all of the lines, that's what you get.
Okay, man, this is very cool. I'm digging this. I'm really digging this. I got a friend. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah. So my friend, he does this, right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one was specifically for Soulology. This was how Soulology showed itself to Morgan and I, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he does. He's done just like hundreds. I mean, he's done a lot. And I believe Metatron is the one that started him on it, and he starts with the circles with every one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what does this one mean?
So, gosh, I could talk about this for a long time. Like I've been teaching about this like 3 2-hour Zoom classes. But the shorthand,
yeah, go ahead.
The shorthand is that he's told me that we are ready as a collective to receive this piece of geometry because it holds the keys that we weren't ready to receive when Metatron's cube was first received.
Okay.
So when you look at Metatron's cube, and I don't have the geometry for it, but when you look at Metatron's cube, you have the fruit of life. So you have like 5 circles down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have another 5. Oh goodness, I'm trying to do it back to front, like down. Oh gosh, down here, and then another 5 there. And so when I was receiving this information, every time I looked at Metatron's cube, it felt like there was information missing, and all I could see were circles in the gaps. That's all I could see. They were like keys. They were keys, and all I knew, it was like I was seeing the geometry complete, but I had to see Metatron's cube with the information not there. And I was watching videos of like 3D renders of Metatron's cube, and I kept seeing the planet, and I kept seeing this 4D, like multi-dimensional geometry in the planet. So rather than like from a 2D flat perspective, I could see the spheres like running. So if this is the planet, this is the grid. This is the new Earth grid. So there's a lot of people been talking about new song lines and everything. And he tells me that that each Metatron's cube represents the masculine and the feminine. So there's one cube that represents the masculine. There's another cube that is overlaid by that represents the feminine. They both come together in the center. And on the outside, you've got like masculine, feminine, or it could be the other way around. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These represent 12.
Is there any? I mean, I see some triangles. Is there any? What am I trying to say? Is there any code or any presence of what some are calling the third energy, the golden child energy, being that this is the age of the Trinity energy? Is there any representation of that?
Yes, so it's here. So this, and he's been telling me this is a portal, and this is the Taurus energy as well. Like when you look at it, this 0 point portal here. So this is the place where we like, and when you look at it, you know, this could be an egg with a seed in the middle, you know, with a sperm in the middle. And, you know, this is, you know, the circle with the dot is where like all geometry or sacred geometry kind of comes from, because, and, you know, when life's being created, like you have the one cell and then it separates and then you get the vesica Pisces.
That's
and
right.
So what he's also been telling me about is it's all in relation to the 21st of December as well, and how powerful that portal is going to be with the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, and that this 0 point, this is the place where we time travel. This is the place where we can collapse all timelines, and this is the place that transcends time and space.
How do we and there's so many, you know, different ways, but I'm just curious because this is This is good stuff. How do we get there?
This
How do we
here,
get to that? Yes. How do we get to that point?
presence.
Presence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So being in the now moment. And when we're in this place, this is the 0 point.
Yeah.
When we are focusing our thoughts and our words and our actions on our wishes and our dreams and our intentions and our reason for being and the co-creation of heaven on earth, it gets amplified. And then if we're doing that at a sacred site, it will get amplified. And if we're doing it on a song line, it will get amplified. If we're doing it at the same time with the same people that have intention, it will get amplified.
Wow. That's
so this is like totally center stage.
That's like very sexy. That's what it is. Sacredly sexy. No, but I mean, it's like because I keep like it gets enhanced. You know, it gets well, you know what I'm saying. It's like everything is the same. Everything runs the same way, and yeah, I'm digging this. So, have you ever? And thank you for sharing that. We're gonna have to get back on this if you're open to it. If you can handle, if you're still open to collaborating with me after this is over. I'm kidding. Yeah, that's really intriguing for some reason, and maybe it's the timing. So much of the stuff that like I know. You could probably relate to this. I know Morgan has talked about it, and other people that come on the show were y'all were getting all this stuff way back then, and nobody was ready for it, right? Like, okay, here you go, and you get 3 likes on it or something, and you know what I mean. And but yeah, so maybe it's a timing thing because that really resonates. It resonates a lot of things. I like to pursue that. When you've communicated with Pythagorean, there's an example, or just in your daily communion, are you getting, and through the sacred geometry as well, what are you getting in terms of collective intel, or is it all meant for you, or both?
Well, the information that I receive is always for me to share.
Right.
So, I receive it and then I make sense of it. My human makes sense of it, and then I share it immediately. Because I've got like about 10,000 friends and followers on Facebook, and a lot of the people that are active in community, highly intelligent, highly connected, incredibly gifted humans. So for me,
weirdos.
Exactly, my fellow weirdos. And so I share this stuff. It's kind of like as soon as I've got it, I share it, and then people give me extra puzzle pieces or they ask extra questions. This is what I teach, because I teach. I share, and then we bounce off one another, because
it's like the what we're moving into with giving and receiving. They're one and the same. I'm going through a little bit of an initiation or indoctrination. I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean it's sacred sexuality is the meeting place. It's that little dot. It's that little dot. It's a 0 point merging physical and non-physical. So I'm learning to give for the first time, right? And this is not to be confused with the old sex stuff. This is something totally different. And that what I've been receiving, this just happened, in the last week and a half, that you master this and there's a simultaneous reaction. You also hit this frequency of being able to receive for the first time. And again, we're not talking about the old stuff. And so I get that, what you're saying. And so like in terms of the stuff that you're pulling down from Pythagorean or others, other faces of the universe, is it pretty much coming down to your modality and your teaching and the information that you're putting out there as you build this other template of where the student's the teacher and the teacher's the student? Is it all pretty much in that regard, or is there any collective forecasting?
Yes. I mean, the other guidance that I've been receiving very strongly, and I'm not 100% this comes from, well, definitely the Pleiadians, is I've been being guided. I mean, it's been coming for a while. Pythagoras has been asking me to collaborate with astrologers, but I haven't been able to fully collaborate in the way that I wanted to because of 12 star sign astrology. And my guidance is that the astrology of the new earth is Sidereal astrology, 13 star sign astrology, based on the true lifetime sky.
Yes.
So
I'm with you on that.
So I received this year, I was told that I will be bringing through something called New Earth astrology, which is based on the true lifetime sky.
Yeah.
And I've also been asked to focus a lot on the conjunctions, the planetary conjunctions that have been happening this year, and to host global synchronicities. So it's bringing that technology, it's bringing the technology of this geometry and what we know about the 0 point, and bringing people together from all over the world to sing one single song that represents the energy of the new earth at the same time across the planet, to activate the new earth grid and to activate the song lines.
That's wild.
And
no, that's what, but like there's people all over the world doing stuff like this. And I'm like, because I've got a very inquisitive mind, curious mind. I've had it, Morgan's had it. I mean, so many people, and that's not taking anything away from it, because they're all like totally relevant pieces of this cosmic jigsaw puzzle. But where I get intrigued is like, okay, this is actually happening in the energetics. Like this person is doing this in the energetics, and then it's getting funneled down to the human aspect, and they're further energetically imprinting it by the intention of what they're being guided to do, regardless of whether it's one person or 1,000 people. This is what really captivates me, because more and more I'm understanding, like Soulology as an example. I know it's a multiple channel, handheld accessible, free platform that promotes 5D, all this stuff. And as a human, it comes in, I'm like going, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for this? Where's it going to come? And I'm past letting that get a hold of me for more than a few minutes. But what I'm trying to say is, it's the intention of going about your business and implementing it to the best of your ability, because we totally underestimate our physical thoughts, words, and action. We don't understand that our thoughts, words, and actions, and this is no bullshit, affects every timeline and dimension, parallel and alternate universe, period. We have no idea when we walk in a store and somebody goes, what do you want? And you engage it in a lower frequency, you're actually, pooping where you eat. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, so I think this is part of the awareness. A lot of times we think of awareness, oh, well, I'm a star, and I'm this, and I'm a light, but it's like, you can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it. It's something that's really like embodiment's taking on a new meaning, like drill it down, drill it down, drill it down. Yeah. Very cool discussion. Yeah. So tell us about how does cosmic numerology starts with Okay, so if you do a natal chart, and I've had a few people, you need to do your natal chart. You give, what is it? You give date of birth, place, and time, right? So how does someone start in cosmic numerology? Like, what's the starting point?
So all I require to look at someone's, cosmic numerology blueprint is their date of birth and their full name on their birth certificate, plus any other name that they're using now that they resonate with if it's different. So especially if it's on official documentation. So, for some people, it's just one blueprint that I look at, but for others, there's their birth blueprint and then there's their current blueprint. And it's really important to acknowledge both, at the same time. So that's
okay. This is good. This is good, and we're gonna hold hands and walk on thin ice. We haven't traversed this before. Let me say this first. So let me just make sure I got this. So for me, it would be like Todd Randall Medina, 12/9/61. And then our December 9th, 1961, and that's it.
That's
okay.
It.
And then in addition to that, any new name like asshole. I get called that sometimes. I'm just a little kid, I got to tell you. All right. So my question is this, and I'm not damning anybody. I'm here to find, we know this. We've done enough shows together. I'm trying to get code. I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to expand my perspective, my spectrum, so I can have a finer and finer 0 point. All of us are doing the same thing. People in the lightworker community, in particular, that change their name. Okay, like I look at that, and 5-10% of the time, I go, that fits. And maybe those are the people that changed their name long before I met them. But energy is energy. And so, like, here's the way I look at it. I got a full-time job holding on to my template that's Todd Randall Medina, born December 9th, 1961. To me, that's just the way I'm built. Maybe other people are different. But if I go create a new name, doesn't that alter my energetic field? And is
numerologically?
Yeah. Okay. And is that good? Is it bad? Depends on what you do with it, or,
In my world, there's no good or bad.
Right.
So, the way I give readings and teach it, all numbers are awesome. All numbers are amazing. All numbers are valid, just the same as all humans are beautiful and amazing.
I got you.
Each number holds a different frequency. And when you decode it numerologically, it holds a different theme and a different essence. So, for me, what's interesting is, and I've given thousands and thousands and thousands of readings now. I've given readings for some people who've, changed their name because they've got married. Some people's names change because they get married. Then there's other people that have changed their name for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah.
What I've found is for the people who've changed their name from a really, really pure place just because they resonate with a new name, the transition into that blueprint is just ease and grace.
Smooth.
But what I've noticed is some people who change their name from a place of discomfort with their other name.
I've seen that.
They're in aversion to it. They can actually have a lot of challenges in life because A, they've changed their name, and B, they haven't actually fully embodied and embraced the name that they came in with, even if we don't resonate with it in the here and now, which is 100% okay. But this is why I always read on the birth name as well, because some people are in aversion to the magic that they actually came in with, that they don't actually realize is there.
So really, it is an indicator of a template that is you at that given point,
Yep.
And there is no bad set of numbers. They're just basically a schematic. And the discomfort or whatever can come from not fully embracing you at any point on the journey, which in these cases are indicators by name changes. And I got to say, I have actually seen cases, people I know, that I've noticed the fluctuations. Some have done it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and it follows suit with their experience. It's say up and down, or changes pace or whatever. Now, here's a friend of mine, Scarlett Ireland, and since the day I met her, now she's one that it fits. If you look at her, she looks like a Scarlett Ireland. She's got the hair, she's got the ethnicity. I mean, but she says here, I changed my name based on numerology first, then all the ancestral came in. That might be pretty good advice for people when they go, because I think she's had a pretty smooth transition. Now, so we got that part. Now, as far as so when you add up a name, like I remember doing mine 20, whatever it was, was it 30? Good God, it was 35 years ago. For Christ's sake, is that right? Yeah, it is. I remember doing my name as Todd Medina. And I remember doing my name as Todd Randall Medina. And at the time, I was much more resonant with Todd Medina. Both, like people they don't even want you to know their middle name and stuff. But also what I ended up reading out of the book in terms of what applied to me as a result of the number that came up. But so I guess that in a way that would mean that both would apply, I guess, in a way, right? I mean, if there's times in my life I went by Todd Randall Medina and times Todd Medina, then they're actually the same dynamics, other than, I guess, like you were saying, if you're coming from a place of, oh, I don't like that, I'm going to change this, yeah. Wow, this is fascinating. Did Python? Oh, I already asked you that. Who? And I remember some of this because I'm kind of a history buff. But numerology was actually used by a lot of civilizations, even in modern times. I think the Nazis used it. They were deep in the occult, and I think they used numerology for things, right? I don't know. You would know.
I don't know whether the Nazis used it, but I know that Pythagoras has told me many times that it is a very important metaphysical language for the new earth and for multidimensional communication. And it is the language that transcends time and space that we can speak and we can all understand regardless of the human language that we speak.
Wow. I'm going to have to bone up on my cosmic numerology so I can reach out to the big P. I mean, he's part of that infinite morphic field. I never thought about tapping into him, dialing him up on the phone. But yeah, that sounds right. Like the new sacred geometry, the old school, because numbers are numbers, right? I mean, that's the numerology would seem like a vehicle. The non-verbalization, the non-verbal methods, other than, I know that when I say non-verbal, I'm talking about like a light language I would say that's not the verbalization I'm talking about, toning, even song, sacred song and chants, Yeah, I think that's the languages here were part of the divine orchestration and structure that we built so we could get lost in this game, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Pythagoras tells me that we as humans have manifested number to give meaning to the seeming chaos that is the universe.
We have manifested, say it again?
We have manifested numbers to give meaning to the seeming chaos that is the universe and the cosmos.
Wow. Wow, that's deep. He's deep.
He's amazing. He gives
He
me
must be up there with Merlin. That level of intelligence reminds me of what I picked up from interludes with Merlin. He's like in a class of his own.
Mm-hmm. The amazing thing about numbers, I've just seen a lot of people commenting, is you can't mess them. You can't mess with the numbers. You just can't mess with them. And for me, as a human, and also at a soul level, based on my numerological blueprint, I love numerology because it's solid, it's grounded, it's, and, it's a very powerful way for universal consciousness to communicate with us, especially through number synchronicities. Like most people in their awakenings are seeing the 1111, or the triple threes, or the triple eights, or the triple whatevers. And I remember when I saw the film Interstellar, and at the point where the father, Matthew McConaughey's character, is caught, in between realms, dimensions, and he's trying to communicate with his daughter. He is communicating with her through binary, knocking the books off the shelf, the ones and the zeros, and he's also communicating with her through time. And we tell the time through with numbers.
And then the thing with the numbers too is the numbers, like you were talking about, it's the form of communication multidimensionally and time travel, whatever. To me, the primary synchronicities that everybody talks about is the numbers. There, as time's gone on, there's been more and more synchronicities, like chance meetings and other coincidences or whatever. But the numbers, to me, in my experience, have accelerated. Like it's some days it's an all day thing. It's like 15, 20 times. And there's the normal double numbers. And then for me, a big one is 1209, which is my birthday. If you do it the American arrangement. So I was like talking to Morgan the other night, and it was getting some point, and I looked down and said, oh, well, shit, there we go. It's 1209. Like that tells me, like, exclamation point. Another one for me is 1114. 1114 or 11 shows me, and then 3 minutes later I see a 14. That's been a big one. Numbers, sacred geometry. How does this all going to go down? Like, I mean, is it, in your opinion, is it more like what I was saying? Like, we're doing this in the energetic field. That's really where it is. And then down here, it's almost like we're playing with it, like Play-Doh. Like, okay, how do you want to go about this? I don't know. But this is really cool because so many people, so much of our attention, I don't want to create separation, but just like, is looking at the virus and looking at the purported virus, or the quarantines, or the the elections, and the good and the bad and the ugly, and the QAnon and all this stuff. And look what's happening. There's people like you all over the world. Some who haven't even told anyone. We've had women come on here that were locked in their rooms, and 20 years ago they were told, leave your family, move to another country, and they did it. And they ended up being the crazy aunt in the attic that somehow or another sustained themselves financially and otherwise by, like an adept's existence. And they continued to channel, do paintings, do writings. Whoa. It's time, right? It's game time.
Yeah,
Game on.
and then game on. And I mean, that's kind of slightly true of me. I mean, you'll probably hear from my accent, like I was born in England, born and raised in, and I spent the first 30 years of life in England. But I was guided to leave in 2011 and take a trip around the world, knowing that I was never going to go back to England, you know, to kind of live permanently. That was what I felt in my heart. I thought I was going to end up in California because I always had a very strong connection to the land there. But it was Australia, and you know, this is where my kind of great awakening or a remembrance has happened, and this is where so many of the powerful activations have happened. This is where I know that I'm here to be of the highest level of service now on the ground. I mean, it's not, oh, I won't ever leave here.
I know that there's obviously portals everywhere. There's, you know, we're portals. I mean, but there are PowerPoints that you just can't deny. And I think it has something to do for me, for my own transmissions over the years. And this is mostly in the early years, something to do with the evolution or the life journey of the earth itself, the unfoldment. You know, like some people talk about Australia, New Zealand, the Hawaiian Islands were all one piece. And, you know, and I've known since, I think it was before I met Morgan. I met Morgan in September 2015. But from the moment I met her, I could see, touch, hear Australia, like specifically where she was at. Like, and it was just like, something's going on here. Like, I start this journey here, that I started as a red rock, you know, or an ant on a red rock, or, I mean, something about that. And I think New Zealand's probably the same. We spent, 8 months, 9 months in Hawaii, on Kauai specifically, in 2019. I can't remember anything anymore. 2020, yeah, whatever. It's not too long ago. And there was a lot of connectivity there, you know, energetically. It was huge. It was absolutely huge. And to me, it was always tied to the Australia, New Zealand, and Antarctica. Big time. Like I've had this impression since I met her that we're going to go travel around, then we're going to go home to Australia, and then I'm going to Antarctica. You know, whether it be for a day or a month or whatever, I don't know. But there's like to me, that's where the final leg is. And I don't know what that means. So you're from England.
Mm-hmm. That's where I was born.
Mm-hmm. I caught the accent when you said it. Mm. Yeah, you said some word, and now, oh, there you go. Mm. So this is cool. Yeah. So how do people? How do they find you?
Facebook. So like pretty much all the Facebook live transmissions that I share are through my personal page.
You do lives. You're very comfortable.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of lives.
Thousands. Very cool.
Yeah, I started doing lives when Facebook Live became possible.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But I have a page. I have a Facebook page as well called Katharine Kinnie, Cosmic Numerologist as well.
Okay,
so that's where all just the numerology stuff goes.
Oh, just the numerology stuff.
Yeah, but I'm bringing through so much at the moment.
Okay, so your personal page. That's what I did. You know, because I figured it out that you can kind of get under the radar on the algorithms if you do it on your personal page to a point. Mm-hmm. So you've been doing them on your personal page. So what are you doing as far as videos, lives on your personal page? The ones that are numerology related.
Okay. So what I've been doing very recently, I've been hosting activations for the significant planetary alignments that have been happening in the conjunction. So I just did one for the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on Friday, which was huge. And then I've also been doing them for the solstices, the equinoxes, and everything in between. So following the pagan wheel of the year. So kind of Imbolc, Lammas, Beltane, Samhain. And I always acknowledge what's happening in both hemispheres as well. So I just did one for Samhain Beltane, which very, very powerful portals, because that's when the veil is the thinnest.
Yeah.
So that's when multidimensional, kind of communication and connection with the ancestors and our cosmic starseed ancestors, because we've got two sets of ancestors. We've got our bloodline ancestors, which is connected to, our birth parents. And then we've got our cosmic starseed ancestors and connections. So that's for me like Metatron and Pythagoras and the Andromedans. I'm very connected to the Andromedans, the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, those from Polaris, the Alpha Centaurians. So I have a strong connection.
We have a few common threads there. Like I don't hear too many people, and I don't get caught up in this too much because I know I'm everything, but there is a lineage, and that doesn't mean you're not everything. It just means this is, like I was talking about the unfoldment of the earth as they showed me these things years ago, how it looked. And, it's part of the progression. So if I look back to my short history, it's, Syrian, Alpha Centaurian, different things like that. That's interesting. And we have two lineages. We have like a human and we have a soul lineage, or you call it galactic. Somebody just said, okay, they're going to want to get readings. Do they contact you on Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, so go to my page, Katharine Kinnie, Cosmic Numerologist, and you can contact me there. And there's a link to my website on that page as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Okay.
Yeah.
You live in Brunswick Heads.
Yeah.
You're from Frome, Somerset.
Frome, Somerset.
Frome. Yeah. Oh, singer-songwriter. Yeah. Oh, and you played the ukulele.
Yeah.
Veganpreneur, cosmic numerologist, love spreader, dream weaver, meditation guide, singer, songwriter. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we know how we're going to conclude this show. Okay. We're going to go there. This is cool. This is very cool. Oh, here we are. I wanted to find one of your videos. Very cool. All right, people. You know where to find her. And Shauna Marie says she lived in Somerset for 10 years. She's from Frome. There we go. So you can't make this shift up, man. Oh, there's another Alpha Centaurian somewhere. There is. Delia. Okay, I think there was one other question. No. Okay. No. Yeah. So I want to give you a chance, before we get out of here, to do whatever you want to do. If you want to do a song and a dance, that's cool. If you want to do a blessing, if you want to talk about something else before we head out the door, if you got anything coming up, any events or anything, the floor is yours, and take as long as you want.
Thanks, Todd.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm involved with so many projects, but the other big thing and directive that I've had this year has been the New Earth Choir. So this is a Facebook group that anyone can join. We've got over 400 members, and it was on the back of another group that I created for the 12/1/2020 activation, which was the Saturn Pluto activation on the 12th of January. And there's 1,700 people in that group. And that was the first time we did a global synchronized sing. And the guidance was to bring as many people around the world together. And at Uluru on the ground, we were there with a really beautiful, special senior Star Law elder, Auntie Nellie. And we all sang this song called Kinnie I received in December 2018. And Kinnie is an Anangu word. And the Anangu are the original indigenous custodians of Uluru and Katajuta, and inspired by a children's book that my friend wrote called Megasaurus, which is about a wedge-tailed eagle. And the word Kinnie means unconditional love. And so there were hundreds of us that all came together from all over the world, like Bali, Ireland, North America, Canada, New Zealand, Hawaii, South America, like everywhere, all over India, China. And we all sang this song, and I'd recorded it on the 21st of December 2019, so people knew to learn. And it just kind of went a bit crazy, like people were wanting the chords for it and all sorts of things. So I then created the New Earth Choir, and the intention for the New Earth Choir is to sing songs of the new earth together at the same time around the world, especially in alignment with very powerful portals, whether they're numerological portals, whether they're eclipse portals, whether they are solstice, equinox portals. So I've been doing a lot of study this year on sacred sites, and especially Stonehenge, and many, many other sacred sites. And what I've found is that, like I was saying before, with this piece of geometry, when we all come together at the same time and we align our thoughts and our words and our actions with an intention, and we are in our hearts, and this is something that I'm now starting to teach called quantum singing. So it's dropping people into their hearts and bringing hundreds and probably hopefully thousands of people together to not only sing a song because we want to sing a song, but to sing a song that has a specific message and a specific intention focused on peace and love and joy, to use our bodies and our words and our vocal cords as human tuning forks for the planet, and to not only send that song and that message out through a 4 or 5 minute song to all the hearts and souls of all humans on the planet, which I've been told is the most powerful way to anchor the energies and the frequencies of the new earth, but also to amplify and send it out across the cosmos, because all our cosmic starseed brothers and sisters will hear it. And to amplify it from either sacred sites, if we feel to be at sacred sites, or our back garden or our living room or our bedroom, but also to align it with these powerful portals. And the focus for me is the 21st of December 2020. And I'm sure everyone watching will have heard lots of things about why it's special and things connected to Uluru. My feeling is, and my guidance is, that this is going to be the single most important conjunction, planetary conjunction and solstice that we have ever experienced on Earth.
I agree.
And a lot of people are going to be in meditation. My guidance is I'm here to bring people together to sing on that day. And to sing Kinnie.
Did you hear that, everybody? I think the Kundalini energy is going to be in full force on 21/12/2020. So you might want to go get some adult diapers and make sure that you don't if you haven't had experience with the Kundalini experiences. No, it is I love to joke, but it is it's no longer, we're in it. It's not upon us, and it's not, imminent. It's here.
Yeah. And we are it, like you were saying. We are the portal.
Absolutely we are.
We are the new earth. We are the
absolutely we are.
New earth. Yeah.
I tell this story sometimes. My higher self told me months ago, I learn from you as much as you learn from me. And of course, this is in a singular, it's everybody, all those aspects, the ones I've seen that appeared in my room, the Alpha Centaurian and the Syrian, the translucent figures that walked into my body. These are metaphoric experiences we're all having one way or the other. We're talking to ourselves here. I lay down sometime in bed, and I'll be like, wait a minute, who the fuck am I talking to? It's me. It's like, I feel a little silly, but there is something there. There is something there. And it's a lot. To me, it's like you and me. It's like, I used to tell Morgan when I first met her and we'd be on the phone, because you know how it is when you first find someone, you can actually talk to this, about this. And I'd say, but I get it, but you're there and I'm here. How does that work? And I think that's what these consciousnesses, these mirrors that just happen not to be physical, they're still the same thing. It's the same. They're family, right? It's family.
Yep.
Well,
And
you're a beautiful, brave, cool lady, and it was very fun. And I'd love to do it again sometime. Yeah, I'd like to get a checkup on 2021. I think you've got some good intel and good life experience, and the other thing is, and I respect anybody, even if I don't resonate with them, and I resonate with you. It's not that. I'm just saying, anyone that gets their lunch pail and goes to work every day, serving, I don't care what they're doing. I've had people come on here and, to me, it was a crazy modality. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? You want me to do this and that and this and that, and everything's going to be okay, or whatever. But hey, they're out there doing the work. And to me, that says it all. And there's a lot of ways to do that. It's not about the number of hours that you put in. It's about the amount of energy that you produce. And the great thing about this new way is that you put it out there, somebody picks it up, and they extend it. That's the 1,700 people in the group thing you're talking about. So imagine how many people were exposed to those tuning forks. And then boom. And now we're going to have to get Pythagorean to give us a new equation because that other one's not going to work anymore. We got a new math now. All right. Well, you take care. And thank you again for coming in and honoring us with your presence and sharing your information with us and sharing space with us. And all blessings to you and yours. And I look to collaborate with you again. If you haven't had enough of me, we can try it again in a month or two.
Sure thing. Thanks so much, Todd.
Right.
It's been a
And thanks for
pleasure.
reaching out. Thanks for reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Blessings.
All right. We finished with numerology. We finished with 88 people in the house. So that ought to